Leeds United are potentially eyeing up a move for a star attacker, potentially next summer, but also maybe just in January, depending on how things go. And not only are we eyeing up a move, but we're eyeing up a free signing for a player that could be very, very good. A lot of people hear free signing and go, well, he's probably not good enough, so sod it. But this guy is genuinely an incredible footballer. Before I dive into all that, I'm just going to ask if you could pop a like and subscribe and a comment on this video about whatever point that you want, about anything that you want. That'd be absolutely lovely. As you may have heard, the YouTube algorithm is kind of ruining a hell of a lot of YouTubers at the moment, and that includes myself and a lot of people in the Leedsy community. So anything that you could do to support the channel, that'd be massively appreciated. Thank you very much. Anyway, going to get into the main bit of the story, because the player that Leeds United are taking a look at that seems like a very, very, very promising footballer, and I'm very excited about, is Mario Stroikens, who is currently a player at Anderlecht. Now, this guy's positioning is one that a lot of people will ask about, because they'll go, well, like, where does he play? Because I don't particularly care if he's going to be a right back. He's not going to be a right back. Out of his matches that he has played, he's played 59 games as a sort of attacking midfielder in the 10. In that position, he's scored 7, got an 11 assists. He's played on the left wing, he's played on the right wing, he's played at centre forward, played in just standard central midfield a few times. And he's a very, 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 very promising prospect. Belgian, only 20 years of age, which means that he's got a lot of potential to grow as well. And the interesting thing that makes him a prospect that Leeds United could, and I honestly believe should, take a look at, is the fact that he has just 9 months left on his contract. Now, I know some people will see this and they will go, if he's only got that long left on his contract, why aren't his club trying to renew it? The interesting thing is his club are reportedly trying to renew it. Someone that's relatively high up at Anderlecht recently had a little bit of a chat with the press and said, we're looking to extend his contracts, but we don't know if he necessarily wants to. Which isn't the most promising thing to hear from a director of football, is it? Like, if you're a fan base, if you're a Leeds United fan, for example, and there's a conversation going on and someone's like, well, we're going to talk to Jayden Bogle about extending his contract, but we don't know if he wants to. At that point, to me, that sounds absolutely like it's expectations management, and they believe that he will not be renewing at Anderlecht. And the important thing about this is, whilst he's got 9 months left on his contract and he could come to Leeds or anywhere else for free in 9 months, it's a fun little thing about the fact that Leeds are only 3 months away from being able to open conversations with him without going via Anderlecht. The majority of the time, you need to talk to the player's club in order to get an idea of, okay, are we allowed to make this move? Because otherwise it's tapping up, and that's in theory not allowed, but in reality, who knows? However, when you've only got 6 months left on your contract, clubs from other countries can start talking to your players. So, for example, when Meslier has 6 months left on his contract, French clubs can start talking to him because they're not in England. This is what I think will open the door to a potential signing for Mario Stroikens, because the moment the potential for getting him on a free pops up, you start to be like, well, okay, Anderlecht, that's fine. What do you want to do in terms of a nominal fee in case we want to sign him this season? Because yes, currently, according to Transfermarkt, the guy's worth 12 million euros, but Anderlecht will be looking down the barrel of losing him for free in 9 months' time, and presumably thinking, we can't lose that much money. And we are well aware we're not going to get that much money even if we sell him in January, so we'll maybe have to sell him for a little bit cheaper, which also suits Leeds United's side of things, which is, it kind of fits the PSR side. If Leeds United are struggling with the PSR angle, which we know we very, very probably are, if it turns out we can sign this guy for 5-6 million euros rather than 12, that's kind of fantastic. It plugs a very, very big gap that is sitting in the squad at the moment, which is the 10, and he can also play on the right wing, which is another thing that we need, whilst allowing us to do so via PSR, which is great. And he is due a pretty damn big step up to those bigger challenges, the top 5 leagues, because he's a very experienced player for his age. So, as I mentioned earlier, he's got a good few appearances, but there's more than you expect. So, in the Jupiler Pro League, the Belgian Pro League, he is currently on 106 appearances. In the Conference League, between the Conference League itself and qualifiers, he's got 17 appearances. In the Europa League and Europa League qualifying combined, he's got a further 11 appearances. This guy's played 28 games of European football already, which is colossal. Genuinely fantastic. He's played for Belgium's under-21s 12 times. It's obviously very difficult to get into Belgium's under-21s, not 21s, into Belgium's senior side in his position because of the existence of Yuri Tielemans and Kevin De Bruyne. So that many appearances for the under-21s is very promising in terms of he's got a decent level of quality. And let's be fair, he does have a decent level about him. I had a quick look through FBref. I've watched some of his sort of highlights, various video bits that are available to me via working for a broadcast company that has a lot of TV rights in Belgium right now. And compared to all wingers, this guy is above average for everything except interceptions, blocks, clearances, aerials won. The guy's not going to win a ton of headers, sure. He's not necessarily going to be one that's making interceptions or blocks or clearing the ball from deep. But that's because that's not his job. He's an attacking midfielder, so obviously you're not having him in those deep positions whacking clearances out of play. Compare him to all sort of attacking midfielders and wingers, the numbers start to look worse, but that's because at times he's sort of played as an advanced 8 rather than a pure 10, which ain't a bad thing to have, to be honest. We need that creator to make those chances for us. And this guy's passes attempted, passes completed, and progressive passing rates are spectacular. The guy can make chances, and I think he's a very, very good part to transplant into the Leeds United side. To say, look, you are very, very clearly a high-quality player in those attacking areas. We could do with one of those. And I think it's the match made in heaven that we are sort of looking for. And in terms of whether or not Stroikens makes the difference, I think he could. I'm not going to commit and say he absolutely will or would or whatever, because you can't predict the future. But I think a player that's of this caliber already at the age that he's at is someone that would be able to adapt reasonably well to the Premier League because he's got a bunch of European experience behind him, has that really, really high ceiling because you've got other clubs taking a little bit of a look at him. Like, I think West Ham and a couple of other clubs from Serie A, from France, from Germany were taking a look and going, maybe he's worth a go. I think this sort of deal could be fantastic for us, and he'd increase in value as time goes on. And let's be honest, if the bad thing happens and we do get relegated, we'd be able to sell him for more than that 5 or 6 million that we potentially sign him for. Of course, it could be like 8, 10. I don't know. I don't know how Anderlecht value him. But signing him in January is just a good idea because you're going to pay significantly less money than you would need to at any other time in his contract, other than for free. But if you wait for the free thing, then you've got all those other clubs that are lining up trying to sign him because they don't have to pay a fee. Ultimately, I think Stroikens would be a very, very good signing that would be a fantastic addition to Daniel Farke's squad, but whether or not we get it, I don't know. I hope so, but we'll see. At the end of the day, though, that's all what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Remember, right now, us YouTubers, we need a little bit of a digital cuddle, and please do so by liking and subscribing and all that kind of fun stuff. Even be a channel member if you fancy. We get videos like this one a decent chunk early, so it's quite nice, I suppose. And yeah, hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all later. Toodaloo.